Shabbat Shalom, everyone. That was pretty good. I think you're ready for Shabbat. That's what that says to me. Welcome to BTVJ. I think I know everyone here, but just in case I don't, I'm Rabbi Roni. And I'm joined on the Bima tonight by Cantor Benjamin, and also for a little while by my wife, Isabel. And we have so many people who are going to be joining us on the Bima throughout this very special evening. Most importantly, our Kita Mechina, who we get to share this service with and who will be helping to lead our service throughout the evening. So we look forward to having you guys up on the Bima to help lead us in all the prayers that you've been working on. We'll also be joined by our youth chorale, directed by Cantor Benjamin in different moments as well. And there's going to be a bunch of other opportunities for folks to be up here both tonight and throughout our weekend. So it is so delightful to see all of you here tonight. So thank you for coming out to join us. And as we move into Shabbat and as we begin to welcome Shabbat into our hearts and into this space, we will soon be doing that with a little bit of light to actually really physically bring that light. But in order to do that, I'm going to invite up our fearless president, I hope she's fearless, Alana Dunoff, who is going to introduce a little bit of what's to come. Just bring that over.
There's been a little bit of a change because evidently I've been promoted.
Oh! Rabbi Alana Dunoff.
Rabbi Alana Dunoff.
That's very good. See? That's
So,
right.
surprise!
This is why we need more editors.
I just copied
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Bruchim Havayim. Welcome. It is so wonderful to have you all here. I really want to say welcome to our Mechina kids and their families. And we have, yay! And we have the other parts of our community who are here. We have guests who are here as well to do all kinds of celebrating this weekend. And just to sort of acknowledge that, first off, how wonderful, like, we're such a lovely full house here, and it feels so good to continue to fill our chairs with people. But I also just acknowledge, just sort of look around the room, that one of the things that I really feel about weaving a strong community together and building a strong community together is when you have generations in the same room. And we have that, and we will continue to have that for the weekend, which is really wonderful to see as we all get to be a part of each other's lives and what's happening. So as we kick off tonight, I want to ask the Gale family and the Wine family to come up as they lead us in lighting the candles.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. My parents are going to be a little surprised.
Will they though? Will they really? Maybe not.
Don't foul.
am up. Okay, so we have a really special kickoff. Before we begin the Mechina service, we have a really special kickoff to the installation part of tonight, and I would like to ask a number of families to come join us. The Drosner family, the Glicksman family, the Levine family, the Dvoraks, the Bravermans, and the Davidoffs to come on up, because we have a reading, a generational reading that they are going to all participate in. Many generational readings. Where do we want to have them all? Sort of here? Yeah.
I know. She's up first.
To be like spread out, go down the line, maybe? All right, spread out and go down the line. Hi there. I know, we're number one. Okay, so I'll stand over here and we'll kind of go down the line.
They're first, they're second.
Second.
You ready?
Okay. In the Jewish tradition, the number 7 has special significance. It represents the total number of days of creation, and the 7th day itself is Shabbat, a day of wholeness and holiness.
BTBJ has proudly served as a vibrant center for Jewish life in our area for nearly 7 decades. And this Shabbat, we officially welcome our 7th rabbi, Rabbi Ronly Handler, as our spiritual leader.
What a truly blessed and auspicious moment this is for all of us.
In Pirkei Avot, our rabbis teach, Aseh lecha rav, make for yourself a teacher. Knei lecha chaver, acquire for yourself a friend. V'dan kol adam lecha zechut, and ascribe to all meritorious intentions.
Today, as we come together as a congregation, we fulfill this statement for ourselves and for future generations of the BTBJ community.
Rabbi Roni, in you we have found our rabbi. In you we have found a friend and chavruta. And in you we have found a wise and judicious leader who will help us to joyfully discern our path forward as a congregation.
Thanks.
We are honored to call you our partner in Jewish life and learning.
We've seen firsthand in your teaching how the old can be made new and how the new can become holy. We are excited to continue to learn Torah with you and from you for many years to come.
We are grateful for the pastoral gifts you bring to BTBJ. As our rabbi, we need your counsel in challenging times. We need your presence in times of pain, and we need your joy in times of simcha. We see you in a wise and discerning soul, a warm and caring presence, and a wellspring of enthusiasm and happiness. We look forward to sharing our lives with you and trust you to guide and support us through all the difficult and wonderful times ahead.
As the heart of a good leadership, and we know that you bring diverse skills and experiences that will undoubtedly support our congregation to grow and adapt with the changing world. We look forward to working together to build the future of our community.
Rabbi Roney, as we officially mark your tenure as our senior rabbi, may you be blessed with teachers who help you grow in Torah.
with time for spiritual practices that nourish your soul,
and with support from our community and board leaders to grow and strengthen our BTBJ community.
may you find great joy and fulfillment in your work with our congregation,
And may we together go forward
from strength to strength.
We can go. It's always good to, make me cry at the start of a service. I thank you all, and I am overjoyed to celebrate our new beginnings together. Labriut, bless you. To celebrate our new beginnings together this weekend, and I am so incredibly honored to serve as your rabbi and humbly accept the responsibility of serving as your teacher and guide as we walk together on the paths of Torah, of service, and acts of loving kindness. As I serve as your teacher, so too do I accept you as my teachers. I will respect you, have patience with you, and encourage you to grow. I will cherish the gifts of Torah that you offer me and give to you freely of all the Torah that I have to give. I think I'll be doing this a few times this weekend. I am honored to be entrusted with the pastoral responsibility for the entire BTBJ community. And I understand that trust is earned and must be constantly nurtured. I cannot promise to always have the right thing to say or the perfect answer to every question, but I will promise to listen deeply and intently in every one of our encounters, to be trustworthy in our connections, and to support each member of our community to the best of my abilities. As we embark on this relationship together, may the BTBJ community fulfill the vision of the psalmist, which is one of my favorite pieces of Psalms, and become ke'et shetul al pagei mayim, asher pirion yiten be'ito, va'alehu lo yibol v'chol asher ya'aseh yatzleach. Like a tree planted beside streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, whose foliage never fades, and whatever it produces thrives. May we be enriched by the Torah that we learn together. May we be nurtured by deep relationships with each other. And may we find joy, comfort, and much success in all that we do as a BTBJ community. I thank you all for being here each and every day to both celebrate and to just show up for one another. I look forward to celebrating with you tonight and throughout the weekend, and God willing, for many years to come. Thank you. So we are going to move into our service. And to get us started, we turn to page 5, and Kita Mechina is going to lead us in the words of Shalom Aleichem. We have a very well-rehearsed entry and exit from the Bima all throughout the evening. So I invite you to turn to page 10 as we move into Kabbalat Shabbat. And the words of Yedid Nefesh, you'll see if you look at the translation in the English that these words remind us to see God as a shining light of the universe and that which illuminates and enlivens every living thing, that which protects all of us with grace and with love. And this is a very intimate description that we have of God and that we seek out, and also one that can sometimes feel very far away. But it is this kind of light and protection that we are always seeking in the world and that we're reminded of in our liturgy. And so as we settle into Shabbat together, as we move through Kabbalat Shabbat, I invite you to sing with us if you are able, hum along if the words themselves seem challenging, or just kind of close your eyes and take them in. Because the purpose of Kabbalat Shabbat is to allow us to arrive into Shabbat, to leave behind the busyness of our week, and to be able to just relish in the fact that we are here together. Turn to the top of page 11, and we continue at the beginning of Psalm 95. to the top of page 13. And we have these words in many of our Psalms. They start out with something like, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, sing to Adonai a new song. And we are often encouraged to sing a new song. Not that there's anything wrong with the old ones are great too. But to be able to approach each day with that freshness, as if there's so many new possibilities before us. Perhaps this is the way that we're supposed to understand this psalm, so that every day can unravel in a way that was completely different than the day before. So I hope that we're in a place that we are holding on to all that we have experienced together leading up till this day, and that we also have the opportunity to sing a new song together. So we are going to sing just the first couple of lines of this. We'll actually be trying to layer it a little in rounds on top of one another. Thanks for our folks in the back who are familiar with this melody. And if you are not, then that's okay. You can take it in, you can pick it up. This won't be the last time, even if this is the first time that you're singing it. And so eventually, it might not feel so new, even as much as it's still new and fresh every day. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basaru Miyom Miyom Yeshua. So we turn now to page 16 as we move into Psalm 97. And as we move into this psalm and as we move throughout our service, part of our goal as we settle into Shabbat is to think back on the week that has passed, to take with us all the goodness and joy that we experienced, to allow that to find a comfortable place inside of us so that we can come back to that again and again in our lives and in this new week, and to maybe let go of the difficult moments that didn't serve us so well, so we don't need to take those with us. We don't need to revisit those. And so I invite you to think about and call to your mind in this moment some of those joyful moments. And later on, as we celebrate with dessert, I would love to hear what some of those joyful moments were for each of you. I know that this is one of those joyful moments, especially for Kita Mechina, but I hope that all of us can think back to our week of moments that we're grateful for and to share that with one another. So we're going to join together 4 lines up from the bottom on page 16. starting to feel warmed up for Shabbat. A little more ready than maybe when you walked in a little moment ago. Thank you, Isabel. So before we welcome our Sabbath Queen into our space and have Kita Mechina lead us in L'Chadodi, first I want us to have a few words of Torah from someone who is very special to me. So when I started rabbinical school, I first met Rabbi Freddie Cooper, and she was first my teacher, still my teacher, then my mentor, and along the way also my friend, and everyone's extra bubby, in case you need one. Also a great place to go if you're in need of recipes, cheesecake, cheese knishes, you name it, she's got it all. And I have not made a professional step since I began this rabbinic journey without you. And so you've been there every step of the way, by text, by lunch, by email, by phone, to encourage me, to listen to me, and just to be there. So thank you for being here tonight.
Do I need to take this off? This Shabbat, we read a double parsha, and we conclude the book of Exodus, the story of the formation of the Israelite people as a community. It is an apt parsha for this wonderful occasion that this community marks this Shabbat. Both the formal honoring and blessing of your new rabbi, Rabbi Roni, and the inclusion in this beautiful service of the Mechina students who share with all of us their learning so far this year. Both of these moments, sources of pride and celebration for this community. We are blessed that Torah helps us to mark this time with inspiration from these two parshiot. We learn in our study this Shabbat about what is and has been the strength of BTBJ as a community, and has given this community the wisdom to choose Rabbi Roni to help you to move forward together. We have been traveling together as a Jewish community now for a few months as the Israelites found themselves in Egypt. We know that this has been a difficult journey. A new Pharaoh who did not know the Israelite leader Joseph, who had helped the Egyptians when they had years of famine. They forgot about Joseph. The Israelites we meet at the beginning of the book of Exodus, Shemot, while many and strong have been enslaved and oppressed. We watch as their leader Moshe, with his brother, helps to free them from oppression. Early on, when they are freed, they celebrate and are joyful. But this is not so lasting for this people. They are a community that has been fearful of this freedom at times. They are also a people who must learn that what one God can be for them, and what laws and commandments can do to shape their lives. It has been a tremendous journey, often filled with fear and trauma. The last four parshiot in Exodus deal with really getting down to the business of worshiping this one God and how to do this properly, with glory and with respect. We have read endlessly of materials needed and building instructions. Some of this has been rather repetitive and at times tempting to skip over. But we come to a powerful conclusion this Shabbat with a very different people present. We watch a scene in which the community really does just that, become a community. So sit back a bit as I take you to our Israelites and Moses, and let's see exactly what happens here. Our leader, Moshe, has called us all together, just like we are here tonight. He said he has something very important for us to learn, and an invitation also to be part of it. We are anxious to hear what he has to tell us. So for a minute, I'm going to be a little bit like Moshe. On 6 days, work may be done, but on the seventh day, you shall have a complete rest, a Shabbat of complete rest, a day holy to the Lord. No work should be done on this day, and no fire should be kindled. And an important piece that I have to offer to you now is my invitation. Take from among you gifts for God. Everyone whose heart is moved, you should bring gifts of gold and silver, purple and blue yarn, linen and animal skins, and all of you who have the gifts to use these materials to build a sanctuary, please step forward. Nadiv Lev, a gift of the heart to build a sanctuary. All that feel so moved are going to step forward. Moshe taught us with his words, and by the way, in this scene that I've just told you about, the people responded with power. They rained down these gifts on Moshe, bringing so much at one point, he had to tell them to stop bringing the gifts. They had more than they needed to build a sanctuary. Can you imagine folks being told, stop bringing gifts? These are different Israelites than we have been encountering up until this point in Exodus. These Israelites have acquired the materials to build a place of assembly that will help them to always know when God is in their midst. They are no longer slaves who can only build what taskmasters tell them to build. They are a people with artisans and craftspeople who can build a structure that is magnificent. With Betzalel, the artist, and Oholiab, the designer, they can lead this people who are filled with heartfelt enthusiasm to create together and thus enable all of them to feel God's presence amongst them. No complaints, no whining, no building of idols, not this people. They have come to a place of unity and reverence, and with this work, they too will learn about 6 days of work and creation and 1 day of complete rest, Shabbat. In chapter 35 of Vayakhel, the word heart is repeated 7 times, emphasizing that to build a community, you need materials, of course, but more so, you need to bring your hearts. In biblical texts, the heart is not only thought of as the seat of emotion, it is also seen as the seat of wisdom. You bring and you give from a chakmat lev, a wise heart. There is much that this parasha has enumerated that reflects the place that this community stands at this very moment. You and your children have traveled to this very moment. It is also a journey that has brought all of you together with your new rabbi this Shabbat. When you enter this building, your Mishkan, to take part in Shabbat services or to do mitzvot for each other, you are like our Israelites that we have just encountered. When Rabbi Roni or your synagogue leadership, your synagogue president rabbi, asks of you to give freely from your heart, you all do just that. You bring your full selves to build what is warm and loving and wise in this community. Hearts moved, you build this community. What is different today, I believe, is that no one, at BTBJ will tell you, stop bringing. You have brought enough. We don't need any more. To build this vital community, you will need each and every one of you to continue to bring your full heart and give from it. And for each of you to continue to bring your God-given talents into this community. This is what makes BTBJ what is needed for this very moment. Together, you have all traveled wisely. You have crafted this moment with the help of your Betzalel and your Ohaliav. May you always have the talent to build together as a community. And once the Israelites had finished all of their building, the presence of God was then able to accompany them on their travels forward and dwell in their midst. This is where we stand tonight. A new moment has been completed, and God is in the midst of this moment, which brings us back to the very first part of what Moshe brought the people together to hear. Shabbat. We are celebrating a special Shabbat filled with light and hope. Moshe told us that we are not to kindle fire once the Shabbat has commenced. Once we've lit these candles, we don't light any more fire for 25 hours. Yet here tonight in this sanctuary, we are surrounded with light. The light of the faces of our children who have led us and taught us what this community is all about and why we continue to travel in God's presence. Children being such a central focus of your rabbi, Rabbi Roni. And the radiant light of your Rabbi Roni that brings a warmth, a full heart, and nadiv lev to this community every day that she is with you. Our world and each of us so needs your children and your rabbi. And so a prayer of blessing for light I share with you, written by songwriter Debbie Friedman. A blessing to all of you and to your children. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. And together let us say amen. Shabbat shalom. Mazal tov. And as we finish Exodus this Shabbat, hazak, hazak, v'nit hazek. Be strong, and let us together strengthen one another. Amen.
Toda Rabba, Rabbi Freddie, for your beautiful words of Torah. And so we are going to get to see a bunch of these little lights in just a moment as we turn to page 23, and we are led in Lachadodi by Kita Mechina. Tell him what? He doesn't know if he should drown out or not. They'll be okay. Okay. They're okay on this one. I'm supposed to tell you.
okay?
Amor v'zahor b'dibor ehad, kishmi anu echam echad, Adonai echad u'shmo ehad, Hashem Tiliah. Likrat Shabbat Necha Kihimur HaBracha Roshni Edem Sukkah Sof Ma'aseh B'Machshavah Tefillah.
Follow what Jordan's saying. Everyone stand up, and we face the door to symbolically welcome our Sabbath queen, which could be Rachel Fox because she's standing at the door. I don't know. You're just imaginary, like a fairy. You all may be seated. And we turn to page 28, and I'd like to invite the youth chorale to the bima to help lead us in the end of our psalm for Shabbat. James. Yeah, James, come on up. Pierce, Alex, come on up. So they're going to be leading us at the red arrow on page 28. And if you're sitting there thinking, gee, I wish I was in a youth chorale, let us know. We'd love to have you. Yeah, the sign-up's in the schmooze. ישנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי צורי ולא עוולת בו. תודה רבה, יפרל. So I hope that you are all sufficiently warmed up and settled in for this Shabbat together, because we turn now to page 39, and I will again invite you to rise as we move into Baruch Hu and officially begin our Marif service. Do they want to come up or no? No, this is Baruch. So Kita Mechina is going to lead us in Baruch. Toda Rabba. You may be seated. Not yet. Amen. We continue on page 40. Avat olam beit Yisrael amcha Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shafeinu u'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed ki hein chayenu v'yorech yameinu u'bahen neged yomam v'layla yomam v'layla. Amen. We turn to page 41, and Kita Mechina is going to lead us in the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Shortam liot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam, v'zuzot beitecha, u'b'sharecha. Continue silently on the top of page 42. turn ahead to page 44 for the words of Michamocha, and we'll actually get to read a little bit in the Torah tomorrow morning, some of the events immediately preceding when we would have said these words in Torah, as we will reread the sort of ritual of the Paschal Lamb offering and that whole scene that we will soon get to celebrate together as we move into Passover. And these are the words that we sang on the other side of the sea. To the top of page 45, and we have the Hashkivenu, our evening prayer for peace and protection. And in a moment, we will sing together the words 3 lines up from the bottom in the Hebrew, Ufros Alinu Sukat Shlomecha, spread over us your shelter of peace, your canopy of peace and protection. And so as we sing these words this evening, I invite you to hold in your mind and in your heart all of those who you know or who are around the world who might be in need of a little extra peace and protection in this moment, some safety, some security, some healing. And as we sing these words together, we pray that our prayers reach all the corners of the world wherever they are needed, and that the sukkah can spread as far as our hearts can open, and so that all who are in need of safety find that safety. All who are in need of peace will someday soon and speedily find that peace. Turn to the top of page 46, and Kita Mechina will lead us in the words of Vishamru. Vishamru. Benjamin. We continue on the middle of page 46 with Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. Bagala, bagala, ubizman karim. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, li'olam li'onei omaya, yiparach. We turn to page 47 for our Amidah, and in the evening our Amidah is recited silently. And so I invite you to move through at your own pace from pages 47 to 52, either with the words in Hebrew or in English, or simply to take a quiet moment for yourself. We turn to page 51 as we conclude our Amidah together, and we are delighted to have Evan Wolf help us to lead the words of Shalom Rav. And not only is Evan a talented musician and BTBJ member, but also the proud parent of a Mechina student.
Ki ata
Toda rabba. Continue on page 54 with Kaddish Shalem, and we will conclude Kaddish Shalem with Oseh Shalom, led by Kita Mechina. Amen. Yeheshmei Rabban Korah, V'olam Me'omei Omaya Yivarach. Amen. 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 Shalom Bimroma. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'achol Yisrael. Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'achol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'achol Yisrael. Bimeru. Amen. Toda rabba. Kita Mechina, before we move into Kiddush, I just want to tell all of you how absolutely wonderful it has been to have you helping to lead this service this evening. And I am so incredibly impressed with you and all that you have learned. And I will say that there are a few more people in this room that might typically be at a Mechina service. And you have all been so brave in getting up here and helping to lead. And I hope, really, that you are as proud of yourselves as we are of you. So, even though for some of you, this might be your first year of religious school, look how much you've already learned. Isn't it impressive? So some have been here since they were babies, and some took a break and came back. But I hope that you will just continue to build year after year on all that Morafine has taught you, so that you can continue to build and build and build. So by the time that you stand up here to celebrate your bar and bat mitzvah, which, believe me, parents, feels like a far away, but comes before you know it, right? Yeah. So imagine how much you'll know by then. So, as Rabbi Freddie said, each week we read a few chapters of Torah, and I know that you know this too, because you always read your Bible stories with Morafine as well. So this week we heard we have a double portion, not just one, but 2 Torah portions. So the first one is called Vayachel, the second one's called Pekudim. So Pekudim, what that really means is records. And so we read, as we heard, about kind of reviewing all of the objects that the Israelites were working together to help create. But these are not just any old objects. All of the things that they're creating are going to be used in the Mishkan, which is like their sanctuary. It's like their synagogue. But it travels around. So instead of just having BTBJ in one place, they can kind of like put it on their backs and take it with them wherever they go. Kind of cool, isn't it? So the high priests, who were kind of like the rabbis, they would use all of these items so that the Israelites could always be happy and healthy, and so that they can maintain their connection with God. Really important stuff. So my most favorite part of this Torah portion comes at the very end, which we did hear a little bit about. And I like to think about this part at the end like someone decorating a house. Or maybe it's like when you are building a Lego house or Lego creation, and you're kind of putting on the finishing touches. Or maybe you're playing in a dollhouse, and you're kind of arranging all the furniture exactly how you want it, so that then you can kind of bring in all the people and bring in all the dolls and start playing with whatever it is that you created. So all the Israelites worked together to create all of these objects that are then going to be used. And the Torah says that once all the building and creating was complete, that, as we heard from Rabbi Freddie, that something really important happened, which is that the presence of God filled the Mishkan. So hopefully you were thinking about this while Rabbi Freddie was talking. But I want you to close your eyes if you're comfortable and think for a minute. Picture in your mind, what might this look like for you to have the presence of God fill an entire space? Notice what you see. Consider how you might describe it. Are you even able to describe it? Maybe it's something that you see, or maybe it's something that you feel. This holiness, this special feeling or connection that filled the Mishkan of the Israelites is the same holiness that filled the temples in Jerusalem, and perhaps can still be felt in Israel when we are at those ancient walls in the old city, when we walk the streets, when we breathe the air in Jerusalem. Maybe something that we can still feel here today in this space. God's presence, though, is not limited, we know, to just one space. It's something that we have the ability to create and experience all the time. That special connection can be with us every single day, no matter where we are in the world. So if we say or do something kind for another person, we can create that holiness. We can bring more of it into the world. And if our parents or our grandparents or our siblings or our pets or a friend, if they reach out to help us in some way, so to make us feel better in a time that we might be feeling sad, then that too brings more holiness into our world. You can experience God's presence when you are part of making this entire planet a more beautiful and loving world, anytime and anywhere for the rest of your lives. So Mechina students, my hope for you is that wherever you go, whatever you do, that you will always remember that the power to make this an even better world is always in your hands and at your fingertips. May you always show kindness, both in your words and in your actions, and may you always be open to also accepting that kindness that comes to you from others. Mazel tov again to you and to all of your families who are here and watching at home. Hi. And Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to turn to page 55, and Cantor Benjamin will lead us in the words of Kiddush.
We will begin the Kiddush with a nusach that comes, from the Irish tradition. And we'll just do the first part of it, and then we'll go back into the regular part for the first song. It goes a little something like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen borei pari hagafen Asher kitchenu b'zetav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kocho b'yahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu Zikaron l'maseh b'reishit Ihu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh Zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Ivanu lachata Yotanu kidashta Mihu ohamim V'shabat kodecha Yachava u'v'ratzon
So I want to invite Maor Fine to come on up to introduce the next offering from our Mechina students.
Hi, Mechina parents. So every year, Mechina selects a theme for our Shabbat. This year, of course, we have two themes. The first theme is Welcome and Mazel Tov to Rabbi Roni. And The second theme we came about because of our studies this year and the focus. This year, when we studied Israel, we spoke about Yerushalayim. And of course, when we speak about Yerushalayim, we always think of Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. And when the children did their scavenger hunt of the sanctuary, we talked about the Jerusalem stone, and we talked about the gold that runs through the veins of the Jerusalem stone. So, this year we have a special treat for you because the children will be singing Yerushalayim Shel Zahav with our beloved Benjamin Greenfield. So,
singing, I was remembering moments that I've shared with some of you at our camp where on Friday night, all of the Israeli shlichim, all of the Israelis who were working at camp would come up to the front with their arms around each other and they would lead us in this beautiful song, connecting them to their home, which is also a home for all of us in so many ways. And that was all kind of swimming around in my head as you were singing, so thank you for bringing that back. We turn to page 56, and I want to invite everyone to please rise as Kitan Mechina will lead us in the words of Aleinu. Aleinu? Lateit gedula liotzer breishi shelo asanu kibayei aratzo velo samanu mishlochot adama shelo sam elkeinu kahem v'goralenu kechol hamunam va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'ne'emar V'haya Adonai L'chal kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo seated. We turn to page 58 for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. And this week in our community, we observe the yard sites of Sarah Bard, Bernard Brenner, Sabina Cooker, Benjamin Dorfman, Benjamin Fox, Joseph Friedman, Thomas Gibbons Jr., Norman Golditch, Frida Hoffman, Ruth Jacobson, Morris Muchnick, Alan Pizer, Richard Schwartz, David Silver, Harlan Smith, Alberta Safa, Louis Stein, Isidore Strauss, Charles Weinstein, Doris Weisbaum, Pauline Wiener, Morris Wise, and Miriam Wilson. I invite those who are in mourning or who are saying Kaddish or observing a yahrzeit to please rise, along with all those for whom you might wish to rise in support of the mourners or for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael v'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach leolam melomeo maya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit taleh v'yit halal shemei dekudasha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who dwell on earth. And we say together, amen. Rabbi Ilana, would you like to share some announcements?
So, I wear a lot of hats in my life. I'm a professor, I'm a consultant, I'm a mom, I'm president. I'm going to hold the rabbi one or that, or don't tell the rest of the family. So, Yasher Koch to all of our Mechina students. And I also want to really acknowledge Mora Fine, because you have been here doing this for a very long time. My family, the rest of my family is not here tonight because they are off looking at the college that she might be attending, who you had when they were young as well. So you are such a cherished gift to us in our schools. So thank you, because they were fantastic, and all the parents want to know how they can do the 1, 2, 3 at home. There was a buzz that was happening here as well. So, and Yasher Koch to everyone, to Rabbi Freddie and to Rabbi Roni and Karen Benjamin, and thank you to all who participated and who were part of the service. So, a couple quick announcements. Tomorrow we're back here at 9:30 a.m. with a very full day of more celebration and service and a fabulous celebration in the evening. I hope that you can come for some of it or all of it or part of it. We look forward to that as well. I'm just curious, has anyone made a tile for the mosaic wall? Have you made tiles? Did you make tiles in school? So we have this wonderful mosaic project. Did you have fun doing it? So we have another opportunity in a couple weeks to make mosaic tiles. This is a community art project, so we invite all of you to continue to come back and make tiles for us. So the next one is March 27th, to continue to be a part of it. And you'll see more. We're going to be painting the tiles in April, and then in May we're going to be installing it. So those are all things coming up. And I'm sure you have a couple other things. Do you want to have Passover coming up? You have anything else specific? That's like enough for now. I feel like that. All right, so we're going to turn it back over. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So before we get to the end of our service and end with a very special blessing, courtesy of Youth Chorale and Evan, first we are going to invite Rabbi Freddie back to the bima to help move us into this blessing moment.
I get to bless Roni, which is really such a privilege. Rav Kook, the first rabbi of Israel, once said, "Every human needs to understand and know that within her shines a light, and there is no light for any of us like the light of her friend." My dear colleague, Rabbi Roni, I saw this moment from my first encounter with you some 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
The warmth, the love, the great wisdom, the connection, it flowed naturally from you. Everyone sees it. You walk into a room and very quickly, it is a light. You quickly radiate all of that for all that you touch. You quietly radiate it, a bit Moshe-like when he descended the mountain, Like him, you may not be fully aware that your face is radiant and open to your encounter with the godly. You too, dear Rabbi Roni, your face, your warmth, your love, your wisdom, your competence, it is always with you. It is all on your face. It speaks of the godly encounter you have had and that you bring to every soul that you encounter. And in that encounter, you are blessed to transfer your light to the other, to your people, to this beautiful community who has had the wisdom to call you their rabbi. So now I place a new yad in your hand, your strong and gentle hand, that you, with your yad hazakah, will be able to continue to stretch out your strong hand in this community and point the way forward with your hand of Torah. It is my blessing to you, dear Rabbi Roni, that this journey ahead as Rabbi of BTBJ will continue to be one in which your special gifts of light, warmth, creativity, and wisdom will bring to you and to this community a people of uprightness and hope, always a new light and hearts that overflow in this Mishkan, so that together BTBJ and Rabbi Roni will only know peace and brightness in the future. And we say, let a new light, the light of your leadership, always shine in Zion. Or Hadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir, Or Hadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir, Or Hadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir, Or Hadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir. Let a new light, the light of your leadership and your love, always shine at BTBJ.
Thank you so much.
And we have a final blessing of shine. We go.
Like our ancient mothers,
Rabba to Maura Fine, to Maura Marsha, to Dahlia Danoff, to Sarah Meltzer, to Andrew Walters, and Juliana Ghosh. Did I get everyone? Who helps with Kita Mechina. Toda Rabba to Maura Suzanne, who helps make all of that magic possible. Toda Rabba to Cantor Benjamin, to Evan Wolf, to Isabel DeHoning, to the entire Ways and Means world who helped make this entire weekend possible. I'm sure I am forgetting more people than I could, so I won't name everyone in particular back there. Toda Rabba to Val, who makes all of this magic happen every single day, all throughout the year. Toda Rabba to Rabbi Freddie Cooper for joining us this evening. And also to Sally and her entire crew for feeding us so immensely. So, with that, Shabbat Shalom, and I hope you'll join us for dessert. What? Mechina, come to you? What?
Take pride that other than your family, I'm the only person here who knew that Roni.
Marsha.
She was there too?
I went to Gratz with Marsha. So you should just share that.
Is this your bar mitzvah photo? Congratulations. I knew you when 30 years ago.
Well, God willing, next year, Shabbaton will be at Camp Harlan.
Oh, really?
So we can really imagine.
Seriously, right?
We can sleep and then we go to tour.